Hello beautiful people and welcome to another weekly vlog about writing and publishing. This week we're 100% in Germany and I plan to make the most out of it. I was planning on filming my way to the cafe, but on the way there I saw two guys trying to push a car inside a yard, so I thought I'd be a good person and start my week with some good karma. I am not sure where I'm spending those points, but I certainly need to work on my constitution because I was out of breath by the end of it. Jokes aside, I made it to the cafe at around 11 AM and got down to work. I've been playing with ElevenLabs and cloning my voice over the weekend, so here's a sample. The reason why I'm trying this sort of technology is because I want to be more active with YouTube Shorts and TikToks, but it's not always easy to switch between recording, writing, editing and all that. Also, this will give my video editor a certain degree of freedom since I won't be the bottleneck in their process, and they won't have to use one of those generic AI voices. So this was a sample. What do you think of it? I'm far from having mastered how to create the perfect clone or playing with the settings enough, but I think it does might be preferable for creating short content. This will need some more looking into on my end, so I think it's about time I finally turn back to outlining. Last we left off, we had just finished the first class of the History of Magic course. The way I have structured the academic work week is 3 days of courses, 3 days of extracurricular and social activities, and 1 day of rest. We're currently in the first week of actual lessons, so I outlined a few of them today. Ultimately, I decided that I'm not going to write about every single class our characters have over the course of their studies, but I do want to offer detailed information on specific topics and especially show the introductory class of each of their courses. The first one I did today is called Fundamentals of Magic Artifacts, study of the most common magical items, their creation and use. This is a good way to tie in some threads from the overarching plot with the actual lessons. I also included another mnemonic, PPP, which stands for Preparation, Protection and Permission, that will also serve as a comedic relief moment for the students. This was the last class of the second day, so I let the 4 friends enjoy some beers with magical effects and the sunset from the university's celestial terrace. Getting drunk on such alcohol might not be to everyone's liking, especially because of their past, but will serve as a plot device later on. The next day's first class is a bit of information on what's coming over the remainder of the year, namely a ball, many extracurricular events, the exams and how they work, and a multi-day excursion in some ancient ruins. All of these are events that I want to include in the first book. Moving on, the second class is Magical Creatures and Fauna, Introduction to the various magical beings found in the magical realm, where they are introduced to a pygmy dragon, a mischievous magical beast. I won't go into too much detail about it here, but magical beasts are one of the boys' interests, so they will appear a lot. Next up is Ethics in Magic, exploring controversial topics that will eventually make the boys want to enroll in the Arcane Debate Club. Is it ever justified to invade someone's mental sanctity either for their own good or the greater good? What if we're erasing a traumatic event from someone's memory? What if they actually ask for it? And what about enhancing magical beings to do one's bidding? Cloning or resurrecting or transmuting souls? These are all subjects that deeply excite me as an author, and I think that a university setting is the perfect place to explore them. I suppose I got carried away with the work I did today, but I outlined a total of 6 pages on paper and plan to continue with 1 more class tomorrow and then extracurricular activities. I was done with outlining at around 5 PM and plan to format one of our German translations that I just got back from our proofreaders. After I go to the gym, I think I'll just watch a cooking show I recently started on Netflix and pass out until tomorrow. It is Tuesday, it's cold and cloudy, but we don't care because we will be outlining more of what is slowly becoming my favorite book ever. I woke up quite early and got to my local cafe at around 8 AM. I know that there is this idea that authors burn the midnight oil, writing well into the early hours, but at least in my bubble of authors, that is not the case. Since I'm treating this as my profession, I try to keep healthy habits like working in reasonable hours and all that. Not that starting to write after midnight is wrong, of course, but my head is a lot sharper early in the morning. Anyway, I got down to outlining straight away. This time, I mostly did extracurricular activities for our 4 heroes, and also set up a system for them to buy more spells. That is, each extracurricular activity would give them 1 extra credit, and they can use those extra credits to buy spell manuals provided by the university. Even though these activities are not really something that the university runs, they are promoted by it since the faculty wants the students to engage with such social activities. An interesting note I added to the system is that these credits are transferable, which can create some unique scenarios. The downside of it might be that wealthy students can use their money to buy credits from less fortunate ones. On the other hand, our 4 friends can pool their credits together to get access to a greater spell than they could individually, even if it means that only one of them might be able to learn it. After writing around 3 pages, I had to go back home for an online meeting. I am planning on re-releasing my Epokosmos series as audiobooks, so the narrator and I had to iron out a few details before he initiated the production. So I continued my work from home with Poco by my side. I managed to outline 5 pages, which is my daily goal, and that includes all of the activities I wanted my characters to touch on. I need to find something interesting to fill the rest of their week, since we'll now step into the next phase of the book. Since I don't want to write each and every class they ever have, I'll have to start jumping forward in time. The first such jump is going to be to the big ball that will take place in the university. This is the event that will move the overarching plot along and where we'll get another glimpse into the sinister forces at play, namely another exciting day of outlining. Having finished at around 6 PM, I will watch some YouTube and play on the Switch till bedtime. At last, the sun is shining again. I was looking at the grey sky yesterday and was wondering when it would finally manage to change my mood, but I'm happy to see it's not today. I woke up early and headed straight to the cafe and started working at around 8 AM. I always start my day with checking if the audiobook we have submitted has gone live on Audible. At the moment, we're waiting for a book to go live for 8 days now, and it's really frustrating that we do not know when it will cross Audible's gates and go live for the world to see. This isn't to say that audiobook pre-orders do not exist, but as with many things in the book business, even in self-publishing, there are features hidden behind locked doors. And only a few people of certain stature and connections, or rather companies, have access to such features. The same is valid for audiobook pricing and audiobook percentages per sale. While indies can set the price for their audiobooks and are limited to 25% royalties per sale, or 40% if they're exclusively on Audible, big players can set their own prices and have scaling percentages that can reach up to 90%. Of course, there is nothing I can do about it, hence I keep checking the book's listing to see if it went live. Spoiler alert, it hasn't. That means I can jump into outlining immediately. Words float quite easily, and the more I outline, the more in love I'm falling with this world. In fact, I managed to write around 6 pages of outline and essentially had to force myself to stop because I ran out of coffee and had to go walk Poco. Today, I did the first time jump in the book, fast forwarding to the end of the first semester, where a magical exhibition and a ball takes place. Another event pointing at the bad guys will take place there, but I stopped just as our hero was going to confront them. In fact, I managed to write around 6 pages of outline and essentially had to force myself to stop because I ran out of coffee and had to go walk Poco. Today, I did the first time jump in the book, fast forwarding to the end of the first semester, where a magical exhibition and a ball takes place. Another event pointing at the bad guys will take place there, but I stopped just as our hero was going to confront them. So I was actually done with work quite early today at around 4 PM, and I guess I'll go to the gym and then maybe play some Switch, and later on I'm meeting some friends for a couple Guinness and cinema. We'll be watching that John Cena movie. By the way, yesterday, while playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I realized that the main character of the series I'm outlining now has the same name as the main character of the game, Noah. Quite an interesting coincidence since I decided on the name before I started the game. In any case, this was Wednesday for me. I am never going to the movies at 11 PM again, especially if I need to wake up early in the morning the next day. The cleaner was coming in at around 8 AM, so I had to wake up early. And since I was up, I might as well get to work early, so I got Poco and we went to the cafe together. I started with some emails that needed my attention. For starters, the audiobook version of Physics of the Apocalypse 1 is up for pre-order. I suppose by the day this video comes out, the audiobook will already be live as it's releasing on the 14th of November, and these videos have a delay of 6 weeks. Eric Jason Martin put so much heart into it, and I have to say that I am impressed with the quality. So I suppose if you're interested in almost 30 hours of LitRPG Apocalypse goodness, you can check it out in the comments below. Also, today is German LitRPG release day, so there were certain promotion tasks to be done. Levi Werner's final book in the World of Magic series was released today. This was one of the most successful LitRPG series in German, and it always feels good to wrap up a series. It's a sign that the market is growing and that people want to see through stories to their end. Once that was taken care of, I was ready to jump into another session of outlining. Sadly, not getting enough sleep did me no favor, so I only managed to outline 3 pages today. This was mostly our main character witnessing the bad guys who were essentially running a heist at the beginning of the new semester. I wanted the ball to become a divider between the semesters of the first academic year because I don't want to have another time jump again so soon. Instead, I can go on and write what the new classes are about. Today's class was about magic duels, something that the boys are familiar with since it's one of their extracurricular activities of their choice. But I think that's enough for today. I hope I'll be in better shape tomorrow. And in better shape I am indeed. I walked Poco, had a dentist appointment at 9:30, and there were not too many emails to take care of, so I was outlining an hour later. I carried on with the next new course in their curriculum, Ancient Magical Civilizations. During this class, they will explore ancient cultures that practiced magic. Most of the first class, however, will focus on an ancient city, the very same that will be the destination of their annual excursion at the end of the year, the ruins of Arcadia's Fall. This will be an important place in the book, hence I foreshadow a few things while also teaching the students. Next up were 2 classes that focus on teaching the basics of the schools of magic. One is the basics of elemental conjuration and the other is the principles of life and death magic. While mentioning the triple combinations that come from the Arcana pentagram, I noticed that I failed to create one school. That is the triangle on the top, noted as DBE. I could of course go back and fix that, but I had an idea that will make the world feel larger and with history behind it. What if that magic potential is forever bent by something that happened in the past? Namely, nobody can combine the magic of those 3 schools anymore. This might even be a cool adventure hook sometime in the future if I decide to pursue it. In any case, I managed to outline a bit more than 6 pages today, so I'd say it was a great end for the week. I headed to the gym, then back home for lunch and off to run some errands. I ordered a few things from Linus Tech Tips, a YouTube channel I follow, and I had to go to customs and clear them. Luckily, the offices are close to where I'm going for D&D and it's not raining, so I'll have a great time going there with a scooter. And that's about it, another week of writing and publishing. If you enjoyed this video and think I've earned it, subscribe to this channel for weekly content. And of course, feel free to share the video. This will be the best help you could offer. Thank you and have a great weekend. Okay, bye!